Nothing changes instantaneously. In a gradually heating bathtub, you'd be boiled to death before you knew it. Our Father, who art in heaven. Seriously? What the actual fuck?
Gilead doesn't care about children. Gilead cares about power.
Why does healing have to be the only goal? Why can't we be as furious as we feel?
For whatever man sows, so shall he reap.
Welcome to Above the Garage.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the most exciting episode to date, I think. Our respective husbands, boyfriends, and brothers have come to take over the podcast and tell you their opinions of Handmaid's Tale. So let's do our round of introductions.
I'm Dave.
I'm Dave F.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Zach.
And I'm Kate. And some of the other females are hanging around here too, wanting to see this. So first of all, thank you guys for being so supportive of our hobby, if you will. It's much appreciated.
Of course.
What did you guys think about season 5 of The Handmaid's Tale overall? How it compares to other seasons and what you loved or didn't love? What are your thoughts?
Well, first, I wanted to say, as Kate's husband, that I've told Kate before that her podcast personality is my favorite version of her personality. So I'm looking forward to getting to experience it in person.
That did not go over well, by the way. I would prefer to be around podcast Kate, not real Kate. It is a memorable moment in our lives, though. Anyway.
But I thought it was a really strong season. I like how it all, especially how it all came together in the end. Like during it, I wasn't sure, but then it all kind of, last couple episodes was all great, and then it brought back lots of good things throughout. So I think they did a good job there, and thought there was a lot of funny parts in there, like especially the Lawrence parts were really funny, and like the proposal with Naomi and all the awkwardness of you could move in with the kids, and that's so good funny stuff throughout there. The only thing I didn't like, I think, was like some of the Hannah stuff. Like I don't think I would have I didn't believe that she could convince them to like send a mission in to try to save her, but that, I guess there's some, you're not gonna like love everything about it, but overall awesome season, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, they definitely needed that last episode to pull it all together again. I think, the last episode was very strong, but yeah, I agree. All in all, it was pretty good. There were some new characters to hate, which was always nice. What is she called?
Mrs. Wheeler.
Mrs. Wheeler.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started on her.
Yeah. She's a new. Yeah.
But at least one of my least favorite characters got the chop, Mr. Putnam. I could not stand that guy. So it was nice to see him get his comeuppance at some point in season 5. That was satisfying.
Yes. Yeah, that was really good. It was good the way they did that whole bit. And Nick came in and just
taking him out in front of everybody. Yeah, it was a great scene.
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of go off what everyone. Yeah, I actually binge watched the entire season in one night. So that's how much. That's how much I actually like. I plan on stopping, but it was very hard to not to stop. I just wanted to keep going. It felt like there wasn't really a dull episode where like nothing was happening or I wasn't like into it. And just to go back on what David said, my favorite is usually Nick, but I really enjoyed Lawrence this season with the whole like awkward proposal and the whole grooming comment with Nick. That actually made me laugh out loud hysterically. So I'm very a Lawrence fan, especially this season. He was definitely making me laugh, and just the awkwardness of his character.
Do you think they changed his character a lot from what he was?
It's tough to say. I mean, obviously, like when you're a new character, you're not going to be on the show a lot, or at the start. But I don't know. I think it's tough to tell. Like, is that like the way he's making the character, or is that just him as an actor? Because I actually told my sister when she, when she met him, because there was a Adam Sandler movie, Billy Madison, that he was in, and
yeah.
Oh yeah, he is.
His character was kind of the same way. I mean, it was a different subject matter. It wasn't, being in control of women or whatever you want to. But I don't know. I just really like his character, because I don't think he's a truly bad guy. I think he's trying to do the best he can in the situation
Yeah.
that he's in. But yeah, his just his character, I'm really starting to enjoy more.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what they do with it next season, how they develop him more. Because I think
Yeah.
they're leading up to something with him.
Yeah,
Because he's been in it a lot more, and
yeah, especially him getting New Bethlehem, pretty much what he wanted. Yeah, so I'm very excited to see where he went, and also Nick killing Mr. Potman was the greatest thing ever. So, like, I'm very team Nick as well. So
they really showed him as the right hand man now. He's sort of moved his way right up there, and we'll see which way he's going to go now, though, because it looks like he's going to try and take him down.
Yeah,
I really like that though. When like the shock of when Nick killed Putnam, that was
Putnam. Yeah,
that was one of the best parts of the season. Just that, just how that was all done, and just how it was shot, and the surprise of it all, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because it was very quick. They're like, "Come with us," and then bang, you just very quick. But I enjoyed it. He deserved it.
What do you guys think of New Bethlehem? Since you brought it up, would you go there if you were Luke and June?
I would not, and it's not a Lawrence thing. I can't remember who said it on the show, but I think it was Luke who said it. I could be wrong, but Luke was like, what happens after Lawrence, dies, or, like, you might not be protected. They might get rid of it. Yeah. So like, I want to trust Lawrence, but it's also Gilead, and there's a lot of mean, evil people in that area, Gilead. So it's hard to trust what would happen after Lawrence, leaves or dies, or so I would not.
They haven't got much choice at the moment with everything that's going on in Canada.
True.
That's the only other problem.
Yeah, I was getting very anxious when she was like wanting to go, and then Luke was like, no, stay, and then she was like I thought she was gonna go. Like, I thought that's how the show was gonna end. Or the season. I thought she was gonna go.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah, I was getting anxious because I was like, please do not go back in there, please.
I think in June's specific circumstance, like, I certainly agree that it's a terrible idea, but I think in June's specific circumstance, I would probably go, just because of the chance to live in the same area with Hannah and have Nick around, and so like I think it's selfishly worth it for her, but it's rough for like and obviously very risky, and puts like Nicole and Luke in a potentially bad spot.
Yeah. Are they locked there? If they went into New Bethlehem, would they be stuck there like what they were in Gilead? Would they be able to come and go, or would they have to stay there? Or do we not know that?
Well, that's what he said. Like, Lawrence was pretty much like, it's not old Gilead, it's new Gilead. And you can pretty much, like, you can't leave, but you can, like, he was kind of making like, or he was making it seem like, oh, you can go, hang out with Nick, or, but I just, it's so hard to trust Gilead.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's evil.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the assumption is you would be locked there in the country if you did it, but it's supposed to be like
more free,
a more free place. But you can't like go in between there and Canada, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are essentially stuck there, and then they could change the rules at any time they want and do whatever they want. So it's a difficult situation.
I suppose the counter argument is, like you mentioned before, about how some people in Canada are starting to weirdly become Serena supporters. So from June's perspective, will New Bethlehem be a better option than Canada? So but like, I agree. I don't think it's the best option for them to go there, mostly because yes, it's Lawrence, and personally he's one of my favorite characters, but like you said, once he goes, really the whole Gilead system and everyone else involved, it's not going to end well. It would never end well for anybody going there, realistically.
Yeah.
So like the biggest plot line, I think, in this season was June Serena. What did you guys think about how that played out this season?
I've got quite a strong opinion on this. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. It's just a really, really, really odd one, because how terrible and brutal Serena's been pretty much since day one. To now have them become best friends and go off into the sunset and potentially take down Gilead together, it just, for me, it doesn't sit well, personally. So yeah, no, my opinion on Serena is I don't think they're just going to ride off into the sunset and become best friends. I do think she still has an agenda where she wants to have some sort of control or power within Gilead. I know that some fans do think that it's going to be her and June, teaming up together, becoming best friends, and want to take down Gilead. I just don't think that the storyline may take the audience in that direction, but I do think down the line it will be Serena being Serena and doing something terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Let's say hi to Brian real quickly. Welcome, Brian.
Hello,
Brian.
how are you? I'm sorry I'm a little late.
It's
Brian.
okay.
Hello, Brian.
There was someone knocking on my office trying to get in so they could get the salt to do because we had a big blizzard here, and so we're still dealing with some snow and some ice. So I apologize for that.
No worries. Do you share an office with Megan?
Yeah, Megan and I have the same office, so she set me up in a little podcast office here. So
You guys need a more secure office because somebody came into her interview with Bruce.
That's what she was telling me. So she's like, yeah, we had Bruce Miller on, and the next thing I know, I was like, there's some guy coming in here saying, is this where you get a massage? I go, what? Okay, that's down the hall, baby. So
That's hilarious. Thank you for getting a coach to fill in for hockey. But
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they're talking about Serena right now. Dave F. Say again. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they'll probably team up to take down Gilead. I don't think Serena wants to go back to that, in my opinion, anyway, because she's been shown as a second-class citizen. Really, everything she's wanted to do and everything she's put forward has been shut down, pretty much. So yeah, I think maybe they'll team up to take it down, and then they'll probably go their separate ways. But yeah, I can't see them going to Hawaii and just chilling on the beach together.
I mean, I certainly don't think that June can trust Serena. I think she's really just wants to get her way, and if midway through some takeover attempt, she is offered some important position within Gilead, she'd probably take it. So I think it'd be hard to trust her, but maybe with limited options, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of it's very hard to even want to like Serena for everything she's done. For me, there's no coming back. She could save a box full of puppies and I would still dislike her. But I think her opinion is, I mean, I could be wrong. I think her opinion has kind of changed now that she's gotten kind of the June treatment at the Wheelers house. But yeah, just the ending when they were on the train together and she was like, oh, you got to dive. And I was like, please do not be friends. Cause the entire show, they've hate each other. And I just think it would be very weird for them to be very Batman and Robin. Let's go back and fight Gilead. Cause it's you really can't trust Serena. And I think June knows that. So I personally, I don't want to see them team up, but I think they will, just because I think they both want to see Gilead go. And I think Serena will now too, cause she's kind of been mistreated this entire season. Luke, screwed her. She's been I think she knows what June has gone through now. So, but yeah, I don't want to see them team up. I think it'd be weird.
I think they'd have their own civil war if they start. They'll probably maybe have some ideas of what they want to do, but I think in the end they have their own civil war that hasn't been finished yet. And I don't think that that is done. They'll do what they have to do to help each other in their current situation. Maybe talk about it, have some ideas, but at the end of the day, these two do not like each other, and they both know what they're both capable of, and they both do not like each other in the least. So I believe that there might be some ideas of that, but in the end, they're still going to have their civil war, and I think it's going to be. I think we have a title match coming up in the next season more than anything. I think it's going to get really raw.
Well, yeah. As soon as one of them disagrees with the other one, then it's going to go. It's on the same
the gloves are coming off.
It's over.
The gloves are coming up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I also don't think it should have taken for Serena to be a handmaid to realize how bad it is to be a handmaid. I mean, I think she probably already knew how bad it was, and she certainly should have known. So
Yeah, she only got a taste of it, though. I mean, the Canadian Gilead of what she's going through isn't even close to actual Gilead. I mean, she only got just a taste of what really June went through. So yeah. So she's clearly not as strong as June, not in my mind. But she's clever enough to survive her situations, and she's surviving right now, I think, because of June's advice.
So she did lose a finger.
What should I do? Well, you can't do anything without your baby, so you better get back there and go get her.
Yeah.
So she's still taking advice from June right now.
Yeah.
So you don't think that they have June's forgiven her and that's over?
No. How could you?
I don't think she will ever. No.
She once said, like, "You'll never be free of me until both of my daughters are free." And they are not free. So
No.
Well, maybe they come to some kind of agreement. Serena will have to help her get Hannah back, and maybe that would be the only way that they could team up as an alliance to go back into Gilead. So it's really kind of that season 5 really kind of set up on the outside looking in and how to get back in, whereas all the previous seasons were in Gilead looking on how to get out, but now they're looking how to get back in. So it's really it was kind of an interesting season.
Yeah, they're both gonna use each other as much as possible to get whatever they want. So yes, trying to get Hannah out of there.
Absolutely.
But I still think Serena is going to Serena though at some point. like she's so
well, June's gonna June too.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Were you guys surprised when she chose the Gilead ambassadorship over Tuella continually telling her, "Hey, just go be free in Canada"? I was surprised.
I think she's invested. She's invested in it. Even though she should walk away, she's still invested because she still feels like she was one of the founding people of it, even though it was her voice and what she wanted to do. But she didn't really have any say in it after that too much. And her voice wasn't really heard other than through her husband.
Well, I think she continues to get outplayed by the commanders as well. They're like, just go do this and we'll set you up. And then they keep taking things away from her. And then she doesn't have really any say or anything. So, I mean, I think she continues to get played inside Gilead. I mean, she wrote a lot of the Gilead rules and laws and then she got played out and shoved aside. And it just happened here again. And when she takes the ambassadorship, she should have learned from her first lesson. Things aren't really going to change just because you're in a different country, so on and so forth. So again, things are stripped to her. She has no rights again. So I think she got played again.
She has to learn at some point. Surely she has to learn. She's not getting anywhere with this.
Right. Exactly. She's like, well, they promised.
Maybe this time it'll be different.
Right. Jeez. They lied to me again.
They would never. I wasn't surprised when she did that. I was like, you should join Canada and not Gilead. She's like, no, I was like, okay. I was like, you're just going to be typical Serena. You're just Serena. It's just, I never expect her character to change, honestly. Even now that she's gotten, like I said before, now she's gotten kind of the Handmaid treatment. I don't think she's going to change. I just think she's going to be Serena because she had a perfect opportunity to change everything. And she just took her typical, no, I'm Team Gilead. So see you later. I was like, okay, well, look at what I got you, like
again. No.
It's like it's like you said, she never learned. It's like, you should know, right? Because you kind of helped start Gilead. You should know what they do especially to women. Like they don't care. So it's like you said, they were like, she was just being used and you're gonna go to the center. Oh, okay, now you're just gonna go to this house and get, it's like they don't care about you, but she still wants to be loyal. So
Commander Lawrence even told her, he's like, how'd you get him to change your mind?
Yeah, he was
by not being a woman. It's like there was a clue that they're not going to change their views on this. Mm-hmm. And she still can't come to grips with that. She's not going to get her way.
Well, just like that scene where she was like, oh, we should, she's telling like all the commanders that like this great idea. And then they're just like, yeah, we'll think about it. Leave and we'll think about it. And then he comes back like it was no big deal. And he was like, yeah, because I'm not a woman. And she looked so like hurt, and I was like, what do you expect?
Here's a good idea. Run, get out, go to Canada. Yeah, get away from there.
Well, she did try earlier on in the show. She tried to get him to read the Bible, right? And then she lost her finger. So
Serena's, I don't know if Serena's ever going to learn. I think that'll be her downfall. I mean, literally, I think that's going to be the end of her. She will simply never learn because she just can't get past herself.
Yeah. And that's why I said, I just think she's always going to be Serena. I just.
Yeah.
Well, she's driven by power, so I think that she, being a nobody in Canada, isn't very appealing to her. So she, like, if she has a chance to have power in some embassy or whatever it is in Canada, then I think that appeals to her rather than just being a normal citizen. So I think she's just driven by that above all else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at that funeral scene where she was, where she got the big funeral for Fred. And she was walking down the street, especially that part with Hannah. Like you could tell, like obviously she was a little more smirky because June.
Yeah, she played
But
that
you
well.
know, like you could tell that she loved that because it was all about her and Fred. You know,
Yeah.
she felt like, and it's like you said, she felt like she was empowered. It was all about her.
How great was that scene? That funeral scene and everything was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that scene was incredible.
Yeah.
She set that up. She
That's
had
what-
that plan. She calculated that. She was very steady. She knew how to get to what she needed to do, and that was her.
Yeah.
That was her counter move, and that's why she is dangerous. She
Yeah.
can be very
That was
cleverly dangerous. Yep, so she can be very cleverly dangerous. So you can't count her out in anything. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Both June and Serena know how dangerous each other can be.
Yeah.
So yeah, never count her out. But I think in the end, that power struggle that she is searching for is probably going to be her downfall in the end.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a cool thing with the camera work in that funeral scene where they at least looked to me like they were like June was like looking up at Serena, like Serena was in
Yep.
power position of like
Yep, that's exactly what that
Yeah.
means.
they're going back and
Yeah.
forth between.
100%. Great scene.
Yeah.
Great show.
What do you guys think about the 2LO Serena situation? Do you wish they had kissed? And why do you think he's so enamored with her? If you think he's enamored with her at all.
Oh,
That's interesting. I'm glad they didn't. I mean, he's a spy for one. He's CIA, so no, I don't think he should be kissing her. But I don't like that match at all. I mean, I really don't like any match with Serena, to be honest with you. But
Oh, you don't think? I think that would be a good match.
I'm glad they didn't kiss. I'm glad they didn't kiss. I don't know. That's just my.
yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. Yeah, I think the only person that was made for Serena was Fred because they're just the perfect evil couple, and I just agree. I'm glad they didn't kiss. So
Yeah, now thinking about it.
Well, might be dragging her in though as an asset too. He might be dragging her in to get more from her, making her feel that way, like making her feel that he has some feelings for her. So that could be a ploy. I mean, they are when you're in CIA or special, military, you are an expert at drawing people in and making them become an asset. So it could be all espionage type too.
That's a good interest. That's an interesting point, actually. Yeah, I never actually thought of it that way. I always thought his feelings towards her were genuine. But now you said that, thinking about it, it could so easily be that. Could so easily. That's a really interesting point.
yeah,
I'm not sure he could get one over on her.
I mean, he's pretty steady with every single communication he has. So everybody in this show is after getting something, and they all have a strategy. And if you look at it, Willow seems to be getting what he wants from everyone.
Yeah,
that's true. So he might be just very, very good at his job.
Because he was doing the same thing with Nick too.
Yeah, well, he got Nick.
But like at the end, at first he was like, "Hey Nick, let's help me out." And at first Nick was like, "No," but yeah, that's a good point.
Serena would be difficult to turn though, I think, because she's so, I don't know. Gilead seems to be where she wants to be, and everything that they say and do, she kind of jumps around and does her own thing. But to everyone else, she seems a lot stronger than that. So she'd be very difficult to flip.
Yeah,
I agree. I think any of them are tough to flip. They all have strong personalities.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are tough, but that's a good point. I mean, she'll want what she wants as well. But yeah, I mean, I think they're all in very, very strong personalities, so they could be all tough to flip.
Yeah, and Serena's also very tough mentally. So like Tuella might think he's flipped her, but she might have something going on, beyond that, and her, might be onto it. So it'd be a hard one to know.
You can never trust her.
I had thought of them as Tuella just liking her against his better judgment and not being able to avoid it.
What's the benefit in flipping her though at this point? What would he want out of her?
I guess any info on Gilead, right? Or just anything she could tell him to help.
Oh yeah, I guess I thought that she had done that last season, but maybe not because they flipped the deal pretty quickly on Fred. So
yeah.
Point.
Yeah, that opportunity might have come and gone. I mean, when she was in Gilead and then chose to come back. So that might be a more difficult situation. But now, who knows? Now she's with June. You never know where they're going to take season 6 with this. So it's going to be pretty interesting to find out. But
yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah, to Kate's point, I'm not sure if there's really a benefit anymore to kind of flip her in any way. But at the same time, back then, there could have been an angle there, but who knows?
She still has inroads. She still has connections in Gilead. So yeah, I mean, she's been pretty much removed, but she still has more connections than everybody else.
Yeah,
from the Canada side, anyway.
I think the Commanders are smart enough to know though that if she's back in, but we're not gonna. It's hard enough for her to get any say in anything. So to be flipped, it would be pretty difficult for her to get any information back. To be flipped as well, because they really don't really give her any time of day other than
Yeah, she's pretty useless everywhere at the moment because no one trusts her.
Yeah.
She's just stuck.
Yeah.
That's true.
What did you guys think of Luke's decision to call the authorities to take Serena's baby away and June's subsequent anger over that? Was Luke right or wrong?
I'm gonna say he's wrong because I think I don't know. Luke kind of annoyed me this season because at first he was like, "No, we'll get Hannah back the right way. We'll do stuff the right way." And then he went to go see Serena, and she kind of like checked him and hit him with an ego check. And then I feel like what he did, I feel like that was like a Serena move. Like that's something that Serena would have done. And I think I don't know. Like I just think it made him look kind of weak, and he just kind of pulled a move that she would have made.
They did kidnap his wife for 7 years.
No. Like if I was in that situation too, like I'd be furious, but I feel like he should have been furious from the get-go.
Yeah.
June pretty much wants to go scorched earth. And that's what I would have, that's what I would do. And Luke was like, "No, I can hit her with building codes and, we'll do it the right way." And then, I can't remember exactly what she said to him, but like I said, she kind of like ego checked him, and then he like stormed off. He threw the papers at her and was mad. And I think I get it that he wants to, make her feel how he felt. So it does make sense, but I feel like when he did it, it was just something like Serena would have done. And I feel like he was kind of like at first, "Oh, let's not be them. Let's not be Serena. We'll get Hannah back there, and then he just kind of pulled a Serena move.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I'm glad to see Serena this whole season kind of getting taste of her own medicine in different ways, like losing a kid, getting treated like a handmaid. I'm like, yeah, it's, this is what you get, right? This is karma coming back.
Yeah, I guess I don't think I wouldn't want to be the one that separated the mother from the baby.
Yeah.
As, I wouldn't, it's certainly justified, but I wouldn't want that piece of it on my head. So I wouldn't have done that personally.
Yeah, and Serena is certainly June's monster to conquer. So for Luke to go do that essentially behind her back I don't blame him, because yes, obviously Serena had a massive play in Luke having his wife, his child taken away from him. But I think to do it in that way, it wasn't the right thing to do. It wasn't the right thing to do, especially not including June in it. I don't think that was right at all.
Yeah, like you say, it was out of character for him as well, I guess, because it was. Yeah, he was trying to go the right way, and he wasn't getting angry with everything, and then all of a sudden he does that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is the one moment I really liked what Luke did. I was like, okay, how do I feel about that? I think the directing and the writing is so good that sometimes you forget how evil Serena is, and then someone sees some tears and they see June help her, and then you can say, oh gosh, she finally got her baby. When she was ahead of the household, and what she did to June, and how she dangled her daughter carrot right in front of her, and then she took her baby away from her and said it was my baby, and literally had Nick and had them sexually assault. If I take a look back at everything and I look at Luke's situation, he's been away from his daughter for 7 years, and now there's an opportunity in which this crazy woman is in cuffs, chained. She should not be raising a kid who thinks in a lot of the Gilead rules. This was Luke's one opportunity that he could actually really help. And I think it was 100% the right move. This was one of Luke's moments where I think he made 100% the right decision. That's my take.
I actually do like what Michael said about that's like June's monster. And now that you said that, I'm kind of rethinking the season. I was like, yeah, because it's like you said, Serena put June through hell and back pretty much. I mean, her and Fred, they were like, she's been put through everything. So yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. I don't know. Maybe June wanted to do that, so she kind of felt
another plan.
Maybe she had something in mind. She already had a plan. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe she kind of felt betrayed by Luke, like I've been dealing with them for 7 years. You've been in Canada,
right. That's June's choice to make, not yours. Luke, that's not your choice. That'd be my choice. And right now I just helped deliver that baby. So right, that's
That's
But
a good
I'm
point.
with Luke. If it was you guys and all that happened, and part of the reason that all that happened was because of her.
I'm glad it happened.
There's no doubt, no question that you guys would be calling those authorities and saying where she is and with that baby. There'd be no question, because if it really truly happened to you, this is one of the worst people in the world.
But I would be like that from the get-go. Like
Right.
I would be
Yeah.
wanting her pretty much head on a stick, because you took my wife, you've taken my kid, you still have you're still using my kid as a chip, like she's using Hannah as like a bargaining chip, and
Mhm.
and like Luke has seen that multiple times. I know June's seen it 1,000 times, but I would be doing that from the get-go.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about his anger? Do you feel like he had like the appropriate amount of anger towards the Waterfords and the situation since like mid season 4, when she came back and she's been really angry and he's been mostly like, calm down? I don't know. How do you feel about Luke in seasons 4 and 5?
It's tough because I'm very team Nick, so I'm pretty much not Luke. Like, I'm not a Luke fan at all. I really like in season 5 where, like, to me, I think it had to be said, but like when they're trapped in that facility, when they kind of get recaptured, like you can tell that he genuinely feels bad for not being there for June. Like, I believe that feeling is real, but also too, June kind of was like, you haven't really done anything. Like, I'm the one who, got our other kid out. Like, I survived Gilead. You really weren't there. Like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but
wasn't that the scene he was having a breakdown after about 10 minutes of being in the cage, wasn't it? And June's like, God, I've been doing this for 7 years. He's just,
and he's like pacing back and forth, and she's like, dude,
Yeah.
chill. Like, you're and then again, Luke tried to be Mr. Macho Man and say something, and she was like, do not say anything to these people because they don't care. And then he kind of got beat up, and then to me and like, I don't know, because like when I watch the show, like I try to think about how would I react if this was real in my life. Like, I would be so angry, and like I know you can't just run into Gilead because you would just get shot.
Well, in a sense, I think Luke tries to, when he gets her back, he tries to go back to pre-Gilead. This is like Luke to June, where he was kind of taking care of her and the protector and the guy that was her shoulder to cry on, and he would take care of things when she loses her job, and now she's like, I take care.
I'm fine.
Well, when June comes, now this is a completely different June. This is a 7-year survivor of Gilead, and Luke is still kind of Luke. He hasn't really gone through any of the survival things that June has gone through, and he wants things kind of back to the way it was. And she's like, you don't understand, but he continues to say, don't tell me I don't understand. I get it. Actually, you don't, dude.
You don't.
And look, Luke is such a good actor when he goes through this, because you're looking at, man, I mean, that's how good of an actor he is, because you're like, you side towards Nick, because like Nick's in the survival mode of Gilead is with June, and you see that, she kind of wrote him off because he was dead. She heard the gunshot. She thought he was dead. So she kind of mourned him gone. Now she's survival, this love with Nick, baby with Nick. So naturally, that's just a natural thing for her to gravitate towards Nick, and that survival and that instinct. She's got the killer instinct. That's where she survived. And then she comes back. It seems like it's such a strained battle, and she's trying to get back because that was her husband, but he's still trying to be like this person that needs to take care of her. And that's the thing. She's even told him, that's the thing. I don't need you to take care of me.
Yeah.
I need to get help. I need to take you. Nicole needs you to take care. So I think he just can't get there because she's been at a level 12 of survival for 7 years, and he's been, talking to Willow and looking on the outside in, can't really do anything. And so that's the big struggle. So when he gets her back, he's trying to show, and even when he kills that man, he's got a lot of anger. A lot of his anger, I think, is frustration of the fact that, gosh, I can't get my June pre-Gilead June back. This is us. It's a miracle. You're my life. It's like, you're not just my life. Other things are happening here inside. I mean, she's got many personalities, and it's hard to manage but that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get back to what they had. There is no going back to that pre-Gilead life. There's zero chance of that.
No way.
He's not adjusting to her.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Luke. So Luke's anger continues to build. And it's just, their relationship's always astray. It's not like when they see Nick, she sees Nick, it's like, sunlight is glowing and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, when it's Luke, it's like a little bit strained. It's a tug of war. It's back and forth. It's really tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke's trying to bring her, settle her down a little bit more, I think, when she can be settled down a bit more because
She
she's a
can.
different person now.
Yeah.
So he's just, he's trying to be a calming influence, but he's not coming across like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough.
I do think that when Luke tries to tell June to let it go, like let things go, like when Fred gets let free, he's like, just let it go. You can't do anything about it. He's just way out of line, out of place there because she's the one that had to deal with everything for the 7 years. So she's the one that decides like what to let go or not let go and what level, you know, it takes of retribution is needed.
Yeah.
And that brings also what you said, Michael, about it being her monster, Serena being her monster. Like Fred was her monster, and Nick brought her Fred to kill.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes.
It's a great present. Best gift ever.
Yeah, best scene
ever.
Yeah.
Best gift ever. Exactly. Well said.
Because Nick could have easily killed Fred and been like, look, he's dead. So yeah.
Which Luke would have done, by the way.
yeah.
I think Luke would have easily done that.
So would you guys?
No problem. I'd have no problem teeing that up, setting that up.
And having them do it.
Oh yeah, 100%. No problem.
Yeah. No issues with that whatsoever.
None.
No.
None.
All for it.
I put a little bow on him as well.
I love when they start making out right in front. He's like, "This is sex." It's like,
Yes.
It's gonna get more sick, buddy, and you're gonna be trust me.
Yeah.
I like how Fred kept calling him son.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have teed that up for her too. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy will do any. See, that's where Nick, kind of wins out, and that's why June. Nick knows what June wants, and Nick can't stop giving to June. That's like the true. It's a survival love. You can't compare it. That's why Nick will always win out, no matter what. If people have this Nick versus Luke. Again, it's not Luke's fault, but you just can't compare to Nick for everything that Nick has done to not only keep her alive, but get her the things she needs.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no comparison and you can just see it. And look, I mean, the best gift of all delivers Waterford.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting. I hadn't thought of the Serena thing, Michael, in the way that you presented it. So it's interesting that Fred and Nick versus Serena and Luke, how Luke handled it versus how Nick handled it. I'd never thought of those two as a comparison before.
I love that.
Do you think that she's in love with both men?
Yes, I think so. I think
different type of love.
It's different now. It's totally different now. It's been a long time. She still has the feelings for everybody.
I don't know if there's intimate love like with Luke as there is with Nick. I think that has kind of come and gone. There's moments of their past that they have that some moments there. I think it's simply a love kind of in a sense that is the father of my child. Again, I think she mourned him. And again, I think, 7 years had passed and, a whole new element of survival love with Nick is in Gilead and having a child. I think that is the intimate, passionate love that she has. It's true. Kind of true love, I guess you would say. Yeah, but there is love for Luke.
I think that's the best way.
It's totally different.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly what I was about to say. I think June is she loves Luke, but she's in love with Nick. You can clearly, and if you look at it, they are different things. So
yeah.
Well, I think Nick has gone to the ends of the earth for her, and she has done things for him. And I think they really just truly, passionately they're an idol. It's just one of those things that really worked out.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about Luke. It's just not what her life is. And she's a totally different person now. And that person more fits and blends with Nick. It's just the way it is.
Because there's obviously no going back now that you survived what you've survived for 7 years. Like you're not going to go back to the June you used to be. So I think she's better off with Nick because I feel like they're both in that situation. They've both been in that situation, Do
you think Nick should have left already and gone to Canada?
It's tough because I truly think Nick is a good guy and he is married. And I think he cares about Rose in some form. And he doesn't want to hurt her in any way. But obviously he loves June and he wants to be with June. But, I think Nick is a really good guy and he cares. So that's why I didn't expect him to leave and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go with June. Like
Nick's Rose is June's Luke.
Yeah.
Same kind of the same scenario there.
yeah, I feel like he has love for Rose, but
Yeah.
It's a Nick and June thing, but I mean, I think
Yeah.
you know there's appreciation, love there. It seems like they have good communication. She's actually, in a sense, understands. I mean, she knows about June. For her to have be the daughter of one of the highest commanders, giving him a little bit of that leeway to try and end things and then move on with theirs. Even when she says, you gotta always go when your girlfriend calls, he's like, I tried to let her go and I can't. He can't let her go, and so that's going to be it's another interesting situation. The total end there.
Yeah, he definitely
he's in a tight spot.
Yeah.
Let's say Nick. Lawrence probably in a tight spot too.
But I'm glad he did though.
Oh yeah, they have to be married.
I think that June is only sublimely happy when she's, with Nick, and like that's when you see her like biggest smiles and happiest moments. Whereas there's a lot of baggage with Luke and what he did wrong or didn't do over the years, and I think that clouds it. Where Nick has certainly made some mistakes along the way, but it's like her true happiness certainly involves moments with Nick.
What could Luke truly do in Canada? I mean, nobody, even some of the higher commanders, the eyes, that even they couldn't do things inside Gilead. So, I mean, what is it that Luke can actually do, to help her? And the only one really in a pure position that could, and the only reason he would is because, they love each other.
If your daughter was in Gilead, like, do you think that you would do more? What would you do? Like, or do you think Luke didn't have a choice, these 7 years to handle it the way that he did?
Difficult.
It'd be kind of interesting to see how they would do that. Like if they would actually show a little bit more of what Luke was trying to do. We don't get that backstory. What are some of the options he possibly could have?
Exactly.
I mean, I think anybody would try to go get their kid if they could, but I mean, is it just an impossibility? What are the best options?
Yeah.
We don't really see that.
Because you really don't see him do anything, really.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew about like Mayday camps on the border and such, they don't show you if that was a thing before or he could contact. I don't know.
Was he given options and we never saw that? I mean, that would be good to know.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually be really interested if they kind of went back, because right now, it's like you said, Luke, you're like, Luke, what did you do? Like, did you do anything? And when Nick is in it, risking his life for June and doing stuff, and she can physically see that, like, we don't get. I would actually be really interested in at some point them kind of going back. It would be nice to see if he actually tried anything, or if Luke was just like, oh God, I'm just gonna hang out in Canada and just hope my wife gets to me one day.
Yeah, that's what it seems like from.
Yeah, that's what that's what it seems like. He's just kind of hanging out in Canada.
That probably was his only option, to be honest. I mean, Commander Lawrence, she's asked Commander Lawrence, get my daughter out there. She's asked Nick. I mean, she's got some high ups who know where her daughter is and they can't get her out. So what really can Luke do? I mean, I don't think he really has a chance. And then next thing you know, okay, I'm going to go in. Well, what are you going to do? I mean, they didn't even get anywhere near no man's land there. One of their guys got blown up by a landmine. A landmine. So how far can you really get? You didn't even get into Gilead. You were in no man's land and your guide got blown up.
Yeah.
I think like Moira and her girlfriend were going in on rescue missions and stuff, or not rescue, just like relief for in Chicago and stuff. I think that's the only thing that they've shown in the show that he could really possibly have done at all. And might not be his thing.
Like just something, I don't.
Just to serve that he tried.
Yeah, anything that he did, I think would have ultimately failed. Like, and he would have died. I don't blame him as much for that. I blame him more so for the mistakes he made in the beginning in terms of not leaving quickly enough. Not realizing, things had gone past the point of no return, and when like they froze women's bank accounts, and then they stuck around waiting for visas, and so I blame him more for like the mistakes at that point.
I'm out of here. Yeah, let's go.
No, but Luke was just like, don't worry, I've got this. I've got
Yeah.
this. Don't worry. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
Well, because she said that to him the second time. Remember, she's like, "We are not waiting like we did the first time.
Right.
We're going right
Yeah.
now. Like we're leaving now. Like we're not waiting like the first time." Yeah, so that's a good point.
It was surprising when he said Canada is not Gilead, because it's like 7 years later, it's the same.
It's kind of looking that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to shift. Yep.
In episode 209, if you guys remember, Nick and Luke met at a bar, and Nick
Yep.
did tell him that June was pregnant, but he did not say that it was his baby. He said it was Waterford's. Do you agree with him not telling Luke it was his baby there?
Yeah,
I do.
I agree with him there.
Yeah.
There's no point. Yeah, it would just cause like a physical fight, most likely, if he said it. So I don't see.
I think he gave him just enough information that was needed at the
Yeah.
moment for the time for both their sakes and for both.
But he handed over the letters, didn't he? So
Mhm,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it would have pushed him over the edge too much, wouldn't it? Too much
Yeah.
information and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Might have burned the letters.
he did enough. He did enough with the letters, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I
that was
agree.
without June asking him. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But when he went back
Yeah.
to Gilead, he also then told June, like word for word, everything that Luke had said. He's never gonna stop loving you. He, et cetera, et cetera. Would you guys have done that? Do you think?
I think that's his personality.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's who he is. So
yeah, that's Nick caring about, just Nick being overall a really good person.
A good
and
guy.
not-
Yeah.
just a good guy. Yeah.
I think the truth is important in this world. So I think he's
Yeah.
doing the absolute right thing. And I think saying that it just shows his character. He shows who he is. I think that builds his arc of who he is as a person, what he's willing to do for June, and how deeply in love he is with June. So I really commend that. So Nick doesn't pull like what Luke does. And again, this is they're both tremendous actors, but like with Moria, she was a lot stronger when she was pre-Gilead than where she is now. And I think that's because she spent a lot of time. Megan and I would call it, she kind of got Luked, like, right. And Luke is trying to get even June on back to being Luke a little bit. And Nick, I don't think is like that. I think he's kind of always just providing what is necessary, telling the truth, being real, and he doesn't have that power struggle of anything. And I think Luke likes that power over. And so in that sense, I just don't, I believe everything that he did in that purpose for that. And he said just amount, I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's the type of character Nick is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to give all the information and let June
let her decide.
Yeah. And you could like change the truth and say he's over you or something, but then it's better to give all the true information and win out that way, and that's kind of Nick's personality.
Yeah.
And I guess it's in line too with him not ever taking June's, that's June's secret to reveal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah. Do you think Luke would have lied? Like if the shoe was on the other foot and he came back, do you think Luke would be like, oh, he's completely over you, he doesn't love you anymore? Do you think Luke's character would have lied to June?
Yeah. No, I don't know about lie, but maybe like he would have
maybe not said the whole truth.
Told somebody what to do. I think he likes telling people what to do, how to feel, who to be.
Yeah.
Kind of like he has with Moya a little bit, and with June, and so I think he would have gone that route, and that probably would have ended well for Luke. But I mean, at the same time, I think Nick, that's his personality versus what Luke is.
Yeah,
I do think Luke did a good job though when he told June to go, or I don't know if it was a good job, but he was very honest and said you should go meet up with Nick and get the information, and so he was basically in that instance saying, you go be with Nick and get the information. I don't want you to be with him, but do it because it's best for Hannah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a shoe on the other foot scenario where Luke did the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did more. He did a few redeeming things this season like that.
Yeah.
Where he was sort of more understanding of June rather than just trying to control the situation.
Yeah. Luke had a Nick moment when he let her go.
Yeah.
At the end, that's a Nick move.
Yeah.
Anything,
really
and that Luke finally went Nick.
Yeah.
At the end, you got there, man.
Yeah, he finally did it.
way to go, man. We've been begging for that. But no, I think that was his real first. I mean, not his first, but that was his most selfless
moment.
Nick move that there
Yeah.
has been for June. And I think he realized that he's like, we're never going to be good enough for you. And I think he came to that conclusion as much as he tried.
Yeah.
As much as he tried to he's trying to loop them a little bit to be on top. And finally it didn't happen. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do what's best for her and what's actually right. And he let her go. He had a real Nick moment.
He had a no win. He couldn't win that situation. There was nothing he could do apart from that. So yeah, he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that in season 6, though, like, do you think he actually let her go, or do you think he's going to come find her, like she said, and it's going to continue like it has?
Ooh.
She's not going to choose.
That's a good one.
What
if Nick and Luke team up to try and go find her? Wow. Hey, we got Civil Wars going. Nick and Luke and Serena and June.
Team Nick and Luke and Team June Serena.
We got some TNT here.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, can you imagine Nick and Luke on a mission for like one day together because of how like incessantly Luke talks and then Nick doesn't talk? Oh my
what an episode that would be. Oh my gosh.
But back to the question: do you think that the love triangle is going to be resolved this season, or it's going to continue as is with her and Boseman?
I think it's heading back to Nick and June.
Yeah.
I think I think not only the audience is ready, I think we had to have the season on the outside looking in and see the strained relationship to go back to what we know what is real and true, and that's the true love of Nick and June. And I think the rescue is kind of on the way, and I think that's it. Who knows? I mean, the writing's so creative, the direction, there's a lot of misdirection in every season. There's a lot of things you think are going to happen. What is this person thinking? But I'd like to see that. And I would like to see that Luke and that Nick team up.
That would be
awesome.
Oh, that would be an episode.
Fantastic.
Oh man.
You don't think they'd kill each other?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Common goal.
I think Luke would struggle with it a lot more because I think Nick is more balanced and he's juggling a real espionage game here. And so I think he's way better at I mean, his acting is the most incredible, I think, with his facial expression. She's so I mean, just a twitch of his mouth or eye or ear or whatever, you can tell exactly what he's thinking. Luke, you see this, it's built up like all the time. So Luke would need Nick, and Nick would be the leader of that. And I think Luke would realize this guy is a killer too. Yeah. So I think Luke would realize that his best chance of ever getting, any Hannah back would be Nick.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
I think we'll see less Luke in the next season, I think.
Really?
It'll be a lot more of the main three, I think.
Yeah.
I think we'll see more Gilead and the battle of Serena in June. I think that's going to blow up. I'd like to see that blow up. I just want to see that erupt.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
I just want more Lawrence, please.
More
Lawrence.
So funny. You guys kind of covered this with your Zach. You asked it, but yeah, if Luke saw Nick at the hospital, do you think Luke would have told June that he came?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say no.
Yeah.
Gosh, what do you guys?
I think he would have done at the end. I think it's something he wouldn't have wanted to say, but if he knew she was getting on the train and things like that, I think possibly then he might have said. I don't think he would have just, we've gone home, she's okay, and they're sitting around.
Yeah. I think he's been fighting to get June back so much that he would have probably left that out because he would have felt that it wouldn't have been good for her. He's trying to pull June into him again, and that Nick is the pull away. And so I think he would have probably kept it to himself.
Yeah.
And that was cool by Toello, though. He was cool in those scenes, for Nick.
Yeah.
And June.
Yeah.
I think he did the right thing by knowing that those two are the items that are, actually in love with each other. I think he helped both them.
Do you think Nick is the world's worst spy, or there was some reason that we don't know that he punched Lawrence?
I think he was a very good spy up until that moment.
Yeah.
I think he's in a tight spot now.
Yeah, I think he kind of let his feelings for June show, especially to all the commanders. Because I'm kind of like, when he did it, I was like, yeah, thank you. I mean, even though it was Lawrence I just think he truly, like, because he's been so cool and calm and collected. You don't know what he's doing, and then he just kind of threw it away in front of all the commanders for June. He was like, I don't like, I love her so much. You almost killed her. I don't care. I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna sock you, and I don't care who's there.
Yeah. It's not good for Lawrence either, though. If you looked at zooming in on the other commander, he's like interesting. And I think he always anticipated something was going on there anyway. So Lawrence is in a tough bind too. I think both of them are.
Yeah. So I think, but yeah, he's been very cool and collected until you almost killed June, and then you just he lost it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard for him to recover from in reality unless Lawrence covers for him and says it was for some other reason.
Who's going to cover for Lawrence?
Yeah.
But Lawrence has got to go hard. He's got to do a big military action or something. He's got to go super hard so everyone forgets what has happened there and they start talking about something else.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Because you feel like that's the only way Nick is going to live, right? If Lawrence kind of, because even when that's what I was saying to my sister, like I truly don't feel like Lawrence is a bad character. Like he's not truly evil like Fred. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see because I think he's Nick's saving grace at this point, unless something happens if they do a raid or something. But yeah, I think Lawrence is going to have to save Nick.
He's the most calculated. He finds a way,
because like you said, he's in it. He is he's in trouble.
Yeah, because if he gets removed, it's over. He needs to show power, but with a bit of restraint as well, so that people don't think he's weak.
That he's weak, exactly.
But otherwise they could remove him, and then everyone's in trouble again.
He's good at moves and counter moves. I mean, look at what he did with Putnam. I mean, that was a great move.
Yeah, his character is so good at that.
Yeah.
I think I'm just a fan of just the way he acts in all characters. Like just his character overall, and his acting is just like I want to be friends with him. Like oh man, he's just just the way he acts just with everybody in the show is just amazing.
Well, his delivery in every single scene is perfect. Like he's got the vocal delivery and the acting, and I'm telling, and most every single one of these actors is so incredibly good. They can cry on cue. Their facial expressions tell an entire story. The directing, the writing, the music, I mean, how the camera work comes in. I mean, like even that scene where Esther and Janine are having that chocolate, you knew something big was popping. You knew poison was coming because how that comes in and then circles around and the music starts pumping. You knew it was just going to be something very climactic. And I mean, just the whole show and the acting of everybody is just absolutely incredible. I mean, it really is. Directing, the makeup, the costumes, it all comes together. It's just it really is a remarkable show.
Like I like the scene where June and Luke are in no man's land, like, and they're walking off, and I'm assuming it's through a drone, but like it just gets really, really high, and you just see him kind of like there's a lot of cool scenes, and just visually, I like the way the show just it's really cool.
I didn't understand the bowling. I didn't get that. We were bowling for like 20 minutes. I'm like, what is there going to be like a raid?
I thought something.
What's going to happen here? I mean, is there something? Is this guy like, I don't know who this
you guys are
guy making drinks or something. What is this? Is there who's playing the piano? What?
It's showing them on a date. Come on.
Is there a zombie going to walk in and like, because there's music from Walking Dead or something? What's going to happen? Nothing.
I was like, so anxious that I was like, this guy's for Gilead. This guy, like they found the other, like, I was like, this guy's a spy. They're going to just come in.
It just keeps drawing on.
And I'm like, Luke, stop singing. Like, I was actually, I'm like, like where's the turn? Where's everything going to go to?
I'm like, there's got to be like a bam or something, like, oh, hell's going to break loose. Huh. Okay. This is just, okay. All right.
Do we also know, was that him actually singing? Because if so, man, he's got a voice.
Like, yeah, he has a great voice. And actually, the director,
that was him singing.
That was him singing poorly, I believe, is the story. Like not like they were trying to make him not as good as he can sing. So he's an incredible singer, OT.
Well, he has a man. Yeah, but I was so anxious there. I was like, man, just kind of like you. You said it. It weirdly kind of had like a Walking Dead feel. I was like, what is going to happen? And then they leave, and I'm like I was so anxious, and then I was like, wait, nothing's happening. Like, this is so weird. And then of course, guy gets blown up, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, fine, there it is. Okay, there it is. They just didn't do it when you. But yeah, so they're very good about directing the show to make you think something's gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen, and then when you don't think anything's gonna happen,
the misdirection and what's he thinking
is so good. Yeah.
What's their next move? How are they gonna play this? What's she thinking? What's he thinking? I think they're gonna do this. So the creativity, the writing, obviously is awesome. It's ingenious. It's incredible. All of it works together. I mean, it really does. But the facial acting in this show, I think, is the best I've ever seen in anything. But I agree with you. Like Commander Lawrence, when he delivers, it's just on, man.
The weird, awkward proposal was great because it was so awkward. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And then also too, I actually told my sister, like I kind of laugh on the inside about most things, or like when I tell, I'll be like, I'm not really laughing out loud. The one thing that actually made me stop the episode, pause it, and kind of just break and laugh was where he was like talking to June and Canada, and he was like, I'm grooming Nick, and he's like, not sexually, of course. That for some reason I was just like, oh, like after that I was like, oh my god. And then it went to the awkward proposal, and he was like, yeah, do you kind of, I don't know, do you want to kind of get married? I just
also when he says to Naomi, you're not mine, we're not your realtors.
Yeah. Just
we're not your real estate.
Just all his little quit. It's just so great, and I'm very jealous that my sister got to meet him.
Mrs. Putnam, I mean, darling, he's like,
like they were doing the family photos, you could tell he hated it, and he's like, don't you guys have something to do around my house? Like, just get away from me, just go back to normal. Like, I'm awkward, I'm done, this is weird, just but yeah, he's like, yeah, don't you guys have like cakes or something to make? Yeah,
I would love to see more McKenna Grace, or Esther, like, the poison girl, because I think she is right up there with, I think she is one of the most pure talents in Hollywood coming up.
Oh,
I mean,
that acting in the scene is just incredible.
Her ability to hold the screen and draw you in, you feel every single emotion with her. And her teamed up with Elizabeth Moss during that when they're in the hideout, and they kill the that commander that's been taking advantage. I mean, her acting is almost second to none, and that's tough to say in the crowd that she's dealing with, the people that she's actually with. But she not only holds her own, she goes above and beyond, and you feel all that pain and
that she's went through.
Yes, she is just remarkable. So season 6, I would like to see her character really kind of develop and begin a new arc from where she is standing, and where is she going? How is she going to get involved? Because turn that girl loose, and she's going to F some things up. She wants Gilead big time, and I think they need to turn her loose.
I think they're kind of showing that too, because with like Aunt Lee, and Mrs. Putnam, she's like, her acting is, oh my god, but
it's incredible.
Everyone is so good on the show, because like I have a thing, like if I hate your character, I feel like you're doing something right. And
that's a very good point. Like everyone's like more Nick because you're supposed to be, because of his acting. Not as much Luke. That's because of his acting. I mean,
and just
if you hate a character, that's because of their acting. That's a very good point.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
They're doing something. Yeah, they're doing something right. Yeah, so
for sure.
Fred's the best example of that. Definitely.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, good talking about this show. I mean, I see why Megan likes it so much. She's like, "Oh, we have such a blast." I'm like, I love talking about it. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I mean, we'll watch that show. We'll watch an episode like 3 or 4 times. Like, oh, okay, I see. I think this. It's I like the shows that make you think and give the misdirection, and but the acting and the directing, the writing, the outfits, the cinematography, everything that they do, they really put it all together, don't they?
Yeah.
So kudos to Bruce Miller on that.
Yeah, he puts the best team together. It's nice to see a Gilead wedding, Naomi with her hair down and such.
Yeah, Naomi does a great job, just like her reactions throughout. Like she, like to when Mr. Putnam was murdered, to just her shock and awe, and the reactions to the proposal. She just has like kind of funny, good, serious, and also comedic faces to respond to these items, and it certainly adds a lot to it.
How creepy was that? Like the chocolate scene? Like,
oh god,
he's like, do you want to? I'm like, oh god, yeah.
I mean that again, the acting on that is so good. I
Yeah.
could see
He's
see
the nicest guy. He's the absolute nicest
I know,
guy.
and I saw that.
It's amazing.
But he plays a very good, like when he's on screen, you like something dark is gonna happen here. He plays that role like almost like a Sith Lord, like he's going to take you down and almost powers of like these are the spoils that I get because I'm so dark and evil. I mean, you knew he was thinking something very
evil.
Yeah. When someone's coming that, and again, just the delivery that he would have would be fantastic. I don't know. I can't say enough about the show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Just that whole, do you want a chocolate? I'm like, oh, like I was crying. Like, oh God,
so
get it.
cringy.
Oh, get away from weirdo. Like
it was pretty tough. But even Aunt Lydia too. I mean, what an actress, what an actor. That Janine, their relationship is, I love that little relationship, that little love relationship that they have. I don't know. They like growing, and
you don't hate her as much this season either.
Yeah, because she's trying, but we don't know what she went through to become an aunt.
Yeah,
like I'm wondering when June was getting tortured, if that's what because she seemed to know like what was happening in every single room that June was in. I'm wondering if that's what she had to endure to become an aunt or something. I'm not, I don't know, but she knew what those girls are going through. It's almost like she knew because she had been there. And I think they had to go through some things to become an aunt.
Yeah, it's not just
So I'm not quite sure about that, but that's one thing I'm like, gosh, she seems to like really know what's about to happen. It seems like she's almost been through it, something. And I don't know if I'm way off on that board or something happened, but
well, like it's very interesting because like she does have some compassion and feelings, and it's like it kind of showed, and I was like, okay, maybe she's not. It's just tough, right? It's just because I want to not like her because but it's I like that. Just I mean just
they definitely softened her.
There's not a character that I don't enjoy watching on the show.
No, especially with Aunt Lydia, they're definitely showing some.
Well, they're waterboarding June too. They hide behind like the Bible or whatever. Because when they're waterboarding June, they got a cross on there. It's like, man, do they hide behind that? It's like what Lawrence said. He's like, they don't care about God or anything. It's just a trick. They care about power, and then you see it like, oh yeah, there's a cross. So they make you think that this is okay by doing it that way, but it's not. It's crazy. I mean, it's a dangerous place, dangerous world for sure.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite handmaid throughout the whole series? Non-June handmaid throughout the whole series?
Emily.
Janine.
Yeah.
I love Emily. She's a killer. She kills everybody.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Emily as well. Yeah.
I mean, wasn't she the one that like ran over her commander with a car?
Yeah.
She just kills everyone. She's about to kill Lawrence.
That was such a great scene as well. Like, Team Emily as well.
Well, June's like, we should get really evil. And then she gets a smile. And she's like, oh, evil. And then they go,
Yeah.
I mean, Emily's, I wish she was back. I hope she comes back season 6. She went into Gilead to tear some things up. I hope she comes back. I'm not sure, what the case is there, but she's whenever she was on scene, I just loved her little miss. She was ready to just get after Gilead, and I think she's an assassin now. She's a killer.
Yeah,
I like her.
Janine's had a good story all the way through. Janine's been very interesting. Yeah,
I love Janine too.
Yeah.
I would say Alma's my favorite, although she's probably not coming back for the next season.
She came back in a flashback.
Gotta see more McKenna Grace. Esther. I would love to see her and Emily together to see what they could come up with.
Oh yeah.
Esther and Emily.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
What would they do? It would be bad. I know that.
What would they not do? I think would be better.
Exactly. I mean, Esther took down 23 commanders with her poisoners. She's in the game and she's in it deep. So that's a good question.
So how about Moira's arc over the seasons? How do you feel about Moira?
Yeah,
she's disappointed me. She's I think Raquel called her a glorified babysitter earlier, which I thought was a great way to describe her. Now she
got looped.
Exactly. She got looped. She was such a badass at the beginning though. Pre Gilead, I loved her. She didn't give a shit about anything. She was so hardcore.
Yeah.
And spends two days with Luke in Canada, and she's been looped. So
it's too much time, Luke. Luke's got oversight, and his message just kind of keeps going. And she got Luke.
Yeah.
And June comes in, and Moira she's like, I'll be with you. I pinky swear I'll do everything. And now it's more like a passive, where she was a very strong fight woman. Now it's you see Luke trying to do it to June, and that's what Luke kind of did with Moya. And I think, you got Luke.
And that's the struggle, because like June will never go back to that, because she knows that. And so it's like, I think you said it, that's the struggle.
Yeah, it was very odd the way they did that. It was very strange the way they dampened her character down so much.
Where's the action and talking about is kind of Luke's thing. He's like, we got to do this. We got to do this. Let's do it. I'll go talk to the city. It's talk. It's like, these girls, they want action. They've suffered. They've been in pain. They've been tortured. They've been, assaulted. They want action. There is no waiting.
Well, she had as much reason, as June, to be upset. She was, working in brothel Jezebel's forever, and I think that she would have all the rage that June has, but somehow she wants to just let things go, and that doesn't make sense to me. It's like, what? Yeah.
There's a different path, another path, and that's no. Until June and Emily get there, then it's back to let's fire things up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's kind of, she was talking to June about Serena. She's like, I will dance on her grave with you. And part of would be like, will you? I don't know. Cause you don't seem like you want to actually do anything. Like June obviously still wants to go after people, and you're kind of just at home playing, just being a mom, which is
all right.
Just one thing, but yeah, I figured she would be like, yeah, June, let's go. Let's get even. And
I don't want to down on Luke, because let's think about his situation too. Look, he did step up, and he killed that dude that ran over June. And he did let June go in the end, and he got her to safety. And so let's.
Oh yeah, he had some good moments.
He has done some great things, and so I want to commend him for that. It's just he can't bring someone back from that. Those people were at a level 12 of survival, and he doesn't understand level 12. He understands at 7, but that was his character, and that's why it's building the relationship for a future of Nick and June, because we had to. So that was kind of his arc, and I think he peaked his arc there at the end of season 5. And now I think it's the Nick and June show again, and I hope it goes that way. And I don't want Luke out of the show, because I think it really helps the show build the chemistry of Nick and June, and I think that's what it's supposed to be. Not that they don't love each other or anything like that, but at the end of the day, I think he really did a good job this year, playing his part and helping us build that, that relationship that on the outside looking in, with June and her struggle and their strain with that relationship. I think it was very well done.
Well, I think he's kind of changing as a character, because I think now, before when June got there, she went, told him about all the stuff she went through. But I think when they both got captured, I think he kind of got to see like, this is what your wife went through, just more for 7 years. So I feel like he kind of got like a glimpse of, oh my God, she went through, hell and back.
We need more Nick though. We need more Nick at 6.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, Nick at 6, because we got to see that, because that is the character that he plays, and his ability to hold that screen and direct you and draw you in it's just incredible. There's only so many people who really can do that. It seems like all these actors can do it here, but that's where I think the audience kind of wants to go. They want to see how is Nick going to get out of this? How's Lawrence going to handle this? Where are they going to go? How's this going to happen? How are they going to get that crazy commander at the top out? What's going to happen with Rose? How are they going to work this? What's Bethlehem going to do? Are they all going to kind of come together? Is that even going to work out? Does the United States have as much power to even do something? Is Canada going to get a little bit more involved and realize that this is a horrible country down and what's going to happen? And I think Nick has to be a big part of that, because the audience is very drawn to that relationship for sure.
Well, also now too, like, is Rose actually going to go back and tell her? Because it's her father, right? Who's that commander, right? It's her dad.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, what if she goes back and it's
that
like,
guy just looks evil, man. He just looks evil.
Well, we haven't seen her dad. That's her dad's friend. Mackenzie is her dad's friend.
Oh, that's her dad's friend. Okay, thank you.
But her dad's like a high up commander too. So they're like the same level. Yeah.
Okay.
So what if she goes to her dad's friend, and her dad's like, Nick has been talking to June this entire time. Like, you know, like I'm very scared for Nick, but yes, please more Nick. Because every time he's on this, like he's done so many little cool moments throughout the season that I've always enjoyed. And I've actually told my sister I'm a huge horror fan. So him and Saul was great. So I'm definitely a fan of his in real life, just outside the character. But yeah, he has all these little like cool swagger moments in the show. And I would just love to, I just want more of that.
Are Nick and Lawrence going to need to be rescued? I mean, they're in a tight spot, I think. What about that scenario? I mean,
is like the next season going to be a season of teams? We got June and Serena, and then we got, you know, like
it could.
Yeah.
What if they're on the outs now and they're trying to survive Gilead now?
It's kind of forming. And,
yeah.
The next season's the last season, right? Next season's the last one.
Yep.
So no one's safe.
Yeah.
They could kill anyone off. Nick could get killed in the first episode.
That would.
They're not going to do that.
You guys would be devastated.
That would. No, it has to be. It has to be like Ross and Rachel. Nick and June have to end up together. It just has to be.
It has to be.
For Friends. I mean, come on.
No more. We're on a break. The break's over. You're not
Right.
on a break. Yeah.
Right. We got to go back.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to happen.
To Brian's point, though, they have done a good job of the show's done a good job of giving, you know, Luke some good things and making him better, and he's got a lot of good aspects to him, and Nick has made some mistakes along the way as well. So there's definitely, like, it's not like all good and all bad. There's you can make arguments either way.
Yeah, everything you feel is the way they were made to make you feel. And that's right, David. I mean, they make you feel that way.
How do you guys feel about Nick's background? Like, you know, there's a lot of Nick hate on the internet, and then there's
really
focused on
what?
Are you being so?
No, yeah, no. What?
Oh wow, yeah. No,
wait,
there's a
yeah. Can you fill me in on that?
Yeah, just a large, not the largest part of the fandom, because if you see the official show doing any like polls, he gets like 80% love. Yeah, but the people that hate him, and they're very vocal about it. And it's usually precisely, they call him a Nazi, and they say, you know, okay, well, you're a Nazi lover.
What?
If you like Nick, I can't believe you're so surprised.
Yeah, I haven't shared that with him.
Yeah,
I've been called a Nazi supporter on Reddit. It's.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
How? Okay.
Daily event.
Do you guys know, like, how do they come up with, if you like Nick, you like not like?
Because he joined the Sons of Jacob when he was 19 or whatever. You know, we've seen that that one background episode. But basically, he chose to join, and then this group overthrew the country, and he is now a commander there. So.
Well, it's like how my brain is going off right now, because I just don't understand how you can. I mean, Nick is just such a, like, he's not an evil person, and it shows. Like, I just don't know how you can hate Nick.
Yeah, even when we did our episode on that, the writer of the episode, I think, is that Kira Snyder, or was?
Yes.
Okay. So the writer of the episode even like tweeted and said, you know, this is exactly what I meant to show, like how a good person can get targeted by a group like this and get, you know, swept into it before it's too late and such. But a lot of people, that's black and white to them. That's the end. That's the end of his character.
I feel like they just aren't creative, and they can't see bigger picture. They're just, you know.
I think it's black and white. I think a lot of people do see in black and white.
My mind is just going off right now. I've just never. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he said in this episode that he was trying to take care of his family because his brother was an alcoholic and his dad, they both lost their jobs. And clearly, like, things in America were like shit. Yeah, definitely. So
well, certainly joining a group like that, you know, and then staying in it, because he was in the group before the overthrow, and then staying in it after, there's certainly reasons to fault him there. But I think that he's done lots of things during the show to show that he's a good person. And then we also don't even know, hopefully we find out, we don't know all the things he's got going on behind the scenes and working on, and so I think he has further ability to show that he's a good person, you know, as time goes on here.
Yeah. Wow. Haven't heard that before.
And they haven't shown us his background either. The last thing we saw, he joined the Sons of Jacob when he was 19, right? Yeah. As a driver. And then the next thing we know, he's a driver.
For Fred.
Fairly lowly. Yeah, for Fred and Gilead. So, you know, you're missing a very important chunk of time.
I think he just needed a job in the beginning. There was no worry. He needed a job, and this was somebody that could give him a job to start. So to think he was like heading to some sort of Nazi club or something, I don't think is right. I mean, is that I missed some of the question, but I said sons of Jacob. I mean, I think in the beginning that he was just, hey, this is a job.
Yeah, he said we'll be flexible with your hours because we're family like focused, situation, organization. So
I don't know what. Yeah, I just think he needed a job in the beginning, and then things kind of developed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we asked on Twitter like anything they wanted you to talk about. So I'm just gonna read a couple. Most of it's been covered. Say thoughts on Luke. He's a good guy who's a bit of an unknowing chauvinist. Would most men pick up on the subtleties? From Aaron, and Kimmy replied, I was going to suggest that too. I think Luke means well. His love and care of June, Hannah, and Nicole is unquestionable. He's put in a position of guesswork and coming up short, while his subtle subconscious misogyny is harshly held against him by fans. Looking forward to this podcast. They just want to know if you pick up on his speech patterns, if you find issue with the way that he speaks to June or other women.
I didn't like the way he was talking to June about asking June to ask Nick for help. Like he was almost kind of like, well, you're gonna ask him. Like I just sometimes the way he kind of talks down to her and just
I mean, it kind of like he's speaking down. It's like it's kind of pre-June. Like this is, we got to do it this way. I understand how you feel. I know what to do. Let me protect you. So I feel like he's tries to own her in a sense, in a way.
Yeah.
And you do see the way he talks to women as well. I think it was, I can't remember what season it was, when Luke and June kind of just get together. And Luke's ex-wife, the way he's talking to her down the phone, he's giving her hell down the phone. So it's not even to June really, where you could see him talking down to women. But I think with June, it's more, I think his intentions are good, but it just comes across as controlling and borderline misogynistic. Intentions are good, but it's not.
Yeah.
I know one thing I've learned from the show is that I have to be very careful with how I pronounce when I say my wife. I can't say my wife.
My wife, yeah.
It's got to be emphasis on the end syllable.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it, but
probably safer to avoid it altogether. We were like we were like paying for parking once. I don't remember why you said my wife, but I responded strongly, and the parking guy was like, he was laughing a lot. No, it's okay if like the person doesn't know you that you're talking about, but when you're talking to somebody that like knows me, to refer to me as my wife, it's weird. That's all. And Luke does that, like with Serena, and he's like my wife, but Serena and him both know June really well, so using her name would be cool. Okay, Jennifer said, very interested in their thoughts on June, Luke, and June Nick perspectives, but specifically, what do you think about the scene in season 1 in June and Luke's apartment after June and Moira lost access to their money? Do you think the scene depicts benevolent misogyny that exists in real life? When he says, it's okay that you lost your money, I'll take care of you.
Yeah, we spoke about it briefly before, didn't we? Where he's just kind of like, oh, don't worry about it, relax. I've got your money, I'm in control of this. I've got you. It's just not the way to go around that situation. First of all, they should have just got the hell out of there. Yeah. When this all kicked off. But, they hung around too long. But for him to just be like, oh, don't worry about it. I've got it. I'm in control. It's just not the right way to go around it. You should be fighting hell and high water to support the women in your life that has their liberties taken away from them. Whereas he's just essentially saying, I'll control it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's just not the way to go around it.
Yeah.
I think he actually kind of liked it.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think he kind of wanted to thrive in that moment that she is going to be entirely reliant on me. I think he actually kind of enjoyed that moment a little bit for himself.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's interesting. I never really thought of that. No,
I think that's right.
It's actually written in the book as well. She does say like June thinks that night. I almost feel like he likes it. By the time, and she never voiced it, but they didn't say that in the show. They did show her, I think, like thinking that night, where in the book she said that. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, it came across kind of. Anita said, I want to know how men feel about how Gilead started. The slide from normal to Gilead was terrifying for me because I can see the things happening now that put us on that path: abortion access, pay gap, gendered violence, etc. Do men see this stuff and where it's going?
Yes, I do. Like when I first started, like my sister obviously told me about the show and she told me what it was about. And it was, for me personally, I felt terrible watching the first season. I mean, obviously, the first season was more about the ceremony. And I'm just like, man, I feel awful being a guy right now. But yeah, I mean, just like the abortions being changed. And I know me and my sister kind of joke, but I'm like, Gilead, I mean, like, is that like, to me, like, was stuff kind of happening in the world? It's like that. I mean, is that too far-fetched from actually happening?
Exactly what I was about to say.
And it's so scary.
Yeah,
it's just a scary
yeah.
thought. Yeah,
the way it started out is that is happening in real life.
Yeah,
obviously then the extremes of the story is hopefully things like that aren't happening in real life. But
Yeah.
like gender pay gap, misogyny, it's rife. So yeah, as a male, I agree with you, Zach, where you just said, are you watching it and you go, God, I feel terrible just watching this. And it's, yeah, you really, really do.
I know it's a show, but
it's a lot of it is happening.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, it's pretty harsh.
Like, I almost want to apologize, and like, I know it's a show, and it's not really happening, but I like, just after kind of watching I was like, man, I feel so bad. Like, I don't feel right about.
That's why you need committees, and that's why you need to have the ability to vote. Any voting rights get taken away, that is a clear big sign. In the judicial system, it needs to be and stay in place, and not too many people can have too much power, and things that are looked at. And one thing that all of a sudden is this got away and no one's looking at it, and this got away, and it's a slow play. Next thing you know, you got your court system that is not so much in line with a balance, and you got a military commander on this side. Next thing you know, you have the courts and you have the military, and another state can start. So you got to be, you can see things but that's why you got to have the committees. That's why you got to have the regulations, rules and regulations. You got to have power in check.
Yeah.
First of all, it's just gotten a lot scarier since the show started, right? The show started right around Trump's presidency. But I think the scariest thing for me recently, aside of obvious abortion care, was when Republicans, I don't know if it was the House or the Senate, but they voted, 98% of them voted against birth control being legal in the country. And that's the most terrifying fucking thing I've ever seen, I've ever seen in my life. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy for us.
Well, when you start taking rights away and rights and votes away, then you really have to start you have to start fighting back before it gets before it gets too late.
Well, yeah, for us guys over here, right, we look from Australia over to you guys, and it's like, whoa, what the hell is going on? How has that happened? And it's unbelievable. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah
Very
sad. Okay, I think one last one. Diana did the Shining Girls podcast with us. Oh, I would love just to listen to them, but it would be nice to just see their perspective to how and why the podcast is made. What do they think about your obsession? LOL.
What well, I'll say this. I mean, honestly, for me, watching this with my wife, and I agree. I think it was David, or I'm not sure who said it. The first scene was really difficult, and then as Megan was watching it, you have to give a kind of a check yourself, and as a male, is like, we're all one species. We all have to really work together to have the kind of world we want to live in together. And it really does help you understand that we need to work together. We have to have communication, and communication is what's going to lead us to living a peaceful life, and then one that, is more real than be scary for what you say and how you say it and what you do and how you do it. So the show in one sense has brought Megan and I closer together as far as communication, but also the outlook of what can happen in a country. So just getting everything together and communicating what you girls have done has really kind of opened some eyes for a lot of people. It's also given people some things to talk about, communicate about. And I think that's a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
I also think is the parallels with real life and women's rights and all that's going on makes it all the more logical that you guys have this obsession and have really gotten into this podcast and all things related to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've my entire life I've always given my sister kind of, not me, just kind of giving her like, brother and sister grief over, this. And so we actually made a deal. I was like, I'll watch the first season of Stranger Things or Handmaid's Tale if you watch the first season of Stranger Things. And I did not think I was going to enjoy the show as much as I did. And like I said, like I told her, like halfway through, like I seriously almost stopped watching because like it was very hard to see just June and other women just
Yeah, it's a difficult watch.
get assaulted and just be treated like dirt. And so like I told her, I was like I might have to stop, and she's like, no, just finish, just finish. And I'm glad I did. Like I think it's awesome that a show, just a TV show, can you guys are so passionate about it's just awesome, because like I kind of briefly said, I'm super into like horror movies and stuff, and I'm very passionate, but also like it's brought me and my sister like really close. Like when I was watching the season, she was texting me, like we definitely have gotten closer because I actually really enjoy the show like her. So we can like talk, and we're both team Nick, so we both kind of freak out when Nick does something awesome or badass.
But it is an outlet. You guys are all team Nick and June, and it's above the garage to Nick and June. So it's kind of cool because Megan's like, you should start a podcast for Star Wars, because I'm a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah,
like I love Star Wars. So like when Bunda was on the show and he started talking about Sith Lord, I'm like, what about the Sith? So they have a kind of a obsession of like to geek out and have fun. And then look at what it did. It brought people from internationally around. You girls all got together. You're like automatic friends. You go to Toronto, you're on set, you're having a good time. I can't believe how well you done. I remember listening to you in the car. I go, what is this? She goes, well, that's our show. I go, what? I go, it sounds like a really professional radio show. You girls are really brilliant. You're very smart about it, but how you put it together, how fast and put it, and how you brought it all together, I think it's really cool. And I'm pretty jealous because I kind of want to do a Star Wars one, but I can't because I'm like, I don't want to be the Star Wars podcast guy. But I think it's a really cool thing. I'm like,
wow, you guys, I'm gonna cry. Not how I expected that conversation going.
There's definitely a lot that goes into it. A lot of hours, a lot of time. A lot.
Because I've always wanted to start kind of like you start a podcast, but I'm just like, it's so scary. I'm like, how do you start? Because obviously, like, you do a podcast with like structure and like to move from point. I feel like if I started one, it would just be a train wreck. And I remember the very first time, like my sister's Discord, I was like, who's blowing you up on Discord? And she's like, oh, it's my podcast. But I was like, you have a podcast? I was so blown away. And then like, because I listen to a lot of different podcasts. Like I actually enjoy it. So I was like, oh, you're on a podcast. That's so awesome. So I've actually always kind of wanted to be on a podcast. So this is, you guys
should start one. It's not hard. We'll help you.
You guys have done a great job with the podcast.
It really is.
Awesome.
People are really catching on. When you have the right people, the directors, writers, actors, creators of the show, thumbs up and get, this truly is incredible what you girls have put together. And how you've gone about it and how professional it is and to how clearly you are able to articulate the show. And you're spot on. It really is something to see. And I really do congratulate all of you. And then to see you all become great friends.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this has been really fun. Thanks for having us on. I've really enjoyed it. Now I can see why Megan loves this. I'm like, we had just a blast and blah, blah, blah. We got to interview actors. And I'm like,
maybe we should start one.
Now I get on here. I'm like, this is really fun. I'm going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know. I can get into this. Maybe I should do a Star Wars one. No, I should. Yes, I should. No, I should. Yes, I should. No, I should.
Yeah, this has been a blast for sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys did it. We really appreciate it. I was going to say my brother can do the Star Wars one with you, Brian. He's very
okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to say one last thing. Bruce Miller also commented on our question, asking what they should ask you guys. He just said, but he's paying attention. So there you go. He's interested.
Yeah. He's in the background.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I said to Bruce, thanks for creating such a wonderful show.
A wonderful show.
And his selection and everybody that he puts together is, again, from the cinematography to the directing to the writing to the actors to the whole sequence of everything. It really is a remarkable show, and it's hard to find really good shows that you are passionate about, that you actually get in and you actually even talk about. Look, I've never been on a podcast before, and this is Megan's show that she brought me in, and I'm all in, and it is by far, to me, the best. I tell people that, and I brought people to this podcast, and I've told them about Handmaid Tale, and I have people that tune into the show like, oh my gosh, I gotta be, they're into it. So we brought people in. So your podcast has brought people in, and it's even brought communication out, introducing to others. So I got some friends that are in it now, and they're watching and listening and tapping the shoulders and asking questions. So it's really good for communication all around, just in general.
It's an impressive grassroots effort to just to build it up from nothing so quickly, and to be interviewing the Putnams to Bruce Miller to who knows who in the future. So it's very impressive.
Yeah,
We've learned a lot, and it's obviously a lot to talk about on this show. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. You're amazing.
Thank
you did so good.
Thank
I'm
you.
worried we're going to lose our jobs.
Thank you, gentlemen. Awesome. All right. Thanks so much for putting this together.
Have a great day,
Take
care.
care.
Yeah.
Pleasure, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.